So when I had a man come to our program who said to me, he was a businessman, he said, I know you're not going to like it, Barbara, but I go so well on the Atkins diet. Now, if I'm worth anything, what am I going to do?
Listen.
I'm going to listen. Because this is his body. It works well. I was interested. And I was interested in a way that I'd never been interested before. Because people used to say, oh, that Atkins diet's terrible, meat, butter, cream cheese, eggs. So I thought, oh, well, I'm not too interested in that. But I became interested in this man. And it's quite a long story. It's a fascinating story how eventually the book came across my path. I opened it. I could not put it down. I read it in 2 days. His science is correct. There's the science. So when Atkins was popular, I used to give a meeting called Dr. Atkins' Missing Link. And his missing link really is the vegetarian protein. I'm jumping ahead. Let's have a look at what he found. So he started to put some of his patients on this. Oh, they were so happy they can eat anything they can't usually eat on a weight loss diet. Weight's falling off them. Within 6 months, he had all his patients on the diet. After a year, a few things started happening which he was unprepared for. His cancer patients were going into remission. How so? Do you remember what cancer cells are consuming? 15 times the glucose of any other cell. This is a low glucose diet. His diabetics were coming off their medication. This is type 1 and type 2 diabetics. Absolutely there was weight loss. You might be surprised at the next one. His patients on with high cholesterol levels came back to normal. And what are they eating? Meat, butter, cream, cheese, eggs. What are people told if they want to get their cholesterol levels down? What have they got to stop? Meat, butter, cream, cheese, eggs. Is that right? He's scratching his head. He only did it for weight loss. And that's why he wrote his book. But before he wrote his book, he went into the medical journals. And he opened once again his anatomy and physiology book that he hadn't looked in for probably about 20 years. And this is what he found, that these 3 food groups are the essential food groups. Why? Remember, we're going to ask why at every step. Well, fibre sweeps the gastrointestinal tract. And if it doesn't get swept every day, it starts to slow down and not work properly. And if the colon doesn't work, the whole body doesn't work. Plus, it is in the fibre part of food, there's often a concentration of the nutrients. Protein's essential. 50% of the membrane around every cell in the body is protein. Remember yesterday we looked at how the new cell is built up with amino acids? My son, James, he inherited my body type. It's hard to put on weight, and that's bad news for a boy because they want to be big. Well, he's big. I can show you a photo of him. He's got muscles now. How did he do that? He worked very hard. He's got his mother's diligence. He just worked at it and worked at it. But he did something else. I was in his room one day and my foot kicked this big bucket. I said, what's that? Oh, that's my protein powder, Mum. Every bodybuilder, if they want to build up muscle, what do they got to add to their diet? Protein, because it's protein that builds muscle. 50% of the membrane around every cell in the body is fat. Whether you're 100 kilos or 300 kilos, I'm talking about the membrane around your cell. Except for the brain cell, it's 70% fat. And that's little fatty sheath around the tail of the cell, that gets your brain cells up to 70%. In fact, the brain's the fattiest organ in the body. And you know what it loves to eat? Fat. We'll have a look at that. What Atkins found is that the non-essential food group is carbohydrates. This surprised him. Now let me define that. I'm not saying carbohydrates are bad. I'd be a fool to do that. We love them. We enjoy them. They're not bad. They only pose a problem when they're overdone and refined. Got that?